Alrighty. I know G's got to make his run. So, okay. I want to bring on here Dr. Bell. Can you unmute yourself? And then,
Sir.
alrighty. And so, listen, Side Hustle. For going on about 2.5 weeks, we have been involved with the program that has an awesome opportunity for us to right now to position ourselves to take advantage of a stock program that this opportunity have. Now that's just one half of it. The other half is I know a lot of us are older heads, and if your head is like my head, I can't wrap it around NFTs to save my life. My daughter, who I was like never ever would have believed would have got anything to do with crypto because they think I'm crazy, but she's all into NFTs, and she told me, oh man, probably October or November of last year that I need to be looking at NFTs, and I'm like, I'm trying. I set a time with her so she can break it down and get me to understand this. She talked to me for about 45 minutes, and I just said, okay, but I still don't have a clue. But anyway, so this opportunity deals in NFT, and just let me tell you, that is the big wave of the future. And when you hear the gentleman who's going to explain to you what they do, you're going to don't have to understand it to do what you need to do to be a part of this. But the stock thing has a limited time, and so we're going to let Doc Bell kind of explain it. He's going to introduce these are the two owners of this company. And I don't know if John's daughter is with us, but man, she is a sharp young lady.
Yes.
So with that, Doc, I'm gonna shut up. Your world, brother.
Oh man. Thank you, Jay. Thank you, Greg. That was awesome. That was good. Man, John Austin and myself, we go back a long time ago, years ago. Sarge on this phone. We were founders in John Austin's top of the free mark years ago. John always does stuff well. And you know, when he started to speak, and I'm gonna get away pretty quick because there's work to do still. I see 83 people. You know, the neat thing about this whole project, y'all, we've grown in about 15 days, Jay Clarence. Probably not more than 15 days. We started out, it was like not this Thursday before, not this last Thursday, the third Friday of that. And we were still on this Zoom, and next thing you know, we had raised $15,000. Then came back, the money was $33,000. Now it's blown through 100. It just blew through 100 that we have raised here because we've done this in an unselfish way. And it led to all of us getting more. Kind of like what One Down is doing with Video Look. Together, everyone achieves more. Team does. These two guys, I don't get it way pretty quick. They team players. Again, me and John go back years. And I watched John grow everywhere he's gone. I watched him go through having stuff taken from him. I watched him understand by grace, though. He can keep moving by faith. I watched him do that. He speaks real well on faith, John does, because he walks it. He walks it, and so does Robert. I'm not going to say too much more about him. Let them bring y'all NFT wars in their own way. But he's a first-class gentleman. You know, Robert, you were talking about in aviation. You tend to find first-class kind of people. And that's you. Robert's flying airplanes since he was 17. Well, yeah, since 17. And he's even taking his airplane. He's the guy y'all can listen to. I'm gonna get out of the way. Robert parks his airplane in his house. He's giving his airplane away. It's part of this whole deal we got here, where a $300,000 airplane is being donated to us. We're gonna win the plane, and we're gonna win the plane because God says so. So to get tickets for this plane, this is a raffle for this whole big thing y'all about to hear about. And every time you raise $10,000, you get another ticket. So we're up to right around $140,000 now. From where how fast we did this is a miracle to me. So that $140,000 is 14 tickets to win that plane. And also, and Robert and John explained it, but when we get a ticket, we also get 33 NFTs. And I'm going to do this right now. Those 33 NFTs, which is not even, this is going to bring income. Y'all have been around this for a while. Here's your money before the stop. You get that money in October. Break me if I'm wrong, Robert, John, but in about 2 or 3 weeks from where we are, we're going to start earning income off those NFTs. And at where we are already, Clarence Howard's on this phone. Clarence is a smart guy, numbers guy too. Clarence figured it out. We right now, and I don't want to be long, right now, what we would earn off the NFTs because of us at $140,000 and have 14 tickets, with 14 times 33 NFTs that earn, they generate $300 a month per NFT. So again, Charles got the numbers, Robert knows the numbers. That's enough at where we are right now. If we come close to doubling where we are right now, we get to $300,000, that'll get us at right around $1 million of income. That's underneath this whole thing. No, that plus the fact that we get these shares of stock. Right now, we're buying for $2.50 a share. And Robert and John, they got 40 million shares registered with the SEC. And Robert owns 30 million shares of them. So there's a 10 million, that's us. So they're selling 6 million and giving us bonus shares of 4 million. So what happens, what we did here, initially, if I was by myself, the way I started, I was gonna do $1,000 for myself. The only way I could have got $1,000 in this deal was to buy 400 shares at $2.50 a share. And that's my $1,000 at 400, I would have 400 shares. Well, this stock that we're talking about is expected to basically 150 times your money. So if you buy yourself with $1,000, you end up with $150,000. On this Zoom, Karen Marshall spoke up and said, I don't have $1,000. Now what y'all gonna do? And Clarence Bowman, that Excel spreadsheet expert, he went to work, him and Brad Byler really been working this thing to the point where now we do this as a group where we can come in chunks of $10,000 and everybody can participate. We have 250 or any multiple of that, 500, 1,000, 2,500, whatever. Any multiple of 250, you can now become part of our group here. And you're part of the same team that, listen, we're gonna win that plane. And we're gonna have 33 NFTs every time we raise $10,000 more dollars. And I gotta get out of the way. Because John got to speak, Robert got to speak. And Robert tell you when he speaks that the stock could be closed, because our whole offering, it could be closed pretty quickly from just a group that he started talking to today. But he'll really start to close this. So everybody's already here. If you want to add, I say add pretty quickly. It might be, Robert has to deliver that plane. He has to get that plane out of his house because he's already got a new plane. And the plane has to be delivered in July. So here's a man that donated a plane to this to make it better for us, who owns 30 million shares and something that's going to be $375,000 a share. We're buying for $250. And we get bonus shares. Because we get 1,000 bonus shares, when we spend $5,000, normally you only get 2,000 shares of $5,000, $250 a share. But we get a bonus 1,000 shares. So we end up with 3,000 shares per $5,000. Take 3,000 shares and multiply it by the price the stock has been valued at. And I'll let Robert talk some about that. But basically, I can say this much. If this company has 200,000 users by September, it will place the value of the stock at $375. $375 times 3,000 shares is $1.1 million. Let's say five was put up $5,000 a piece, you got that $5,000. You would then divide the 1.1 million by $5,000, these 5 people. So now you got $230,000. You can round off to $250,000. It's roughly $250,000 that you end up earning for the same $1,000 that I could have only got $150 by myself. Thanks to Karen and some unselfish teamwork like God loves. Now I can get $250,000. And now a person with only $250 can get right at $60,000. The way this deal is working for us, as long as this stock sells for $375 in October, for every $250 you put in right now, another $60,000. And the stock, in fact, could be higher. We don't talk about that too much, but it could be. I say this much I'm gonna get out of the way. It could be higher, simply because there's some fascinating kids here that God brought here. I hope Asia is here, John's daughter. Hope she's here. But for right now, I just do Charlie, Tyler, and Sam, age 21, 23, 27. The one in the middle, Tyler, he's got 17 million users. He's been given $100 million to help build him with a metaverse. These kids are not just anybody. Sam's got more users than he does. He's 27 years old. So it's a whole bunch of millions of users just amongst these kids. Now, granted, they don't have as much money as older folks. And this whole platform that we're going to give things about it, this is bringing older folk now to NFTs in the metaverse. And lots of money is being made on nothing right now, as I'm understanding it. Y'all correct me if I'm wrong, John, Robert, but nothing make more money out here now than NFTs in the crypto space or any space. Money's being made in NFTs. And when you learn this program right here, you'll probably agree with me. Right now, I have no doubt, this is the best platform to buy, sell, trade NFTs. It's right here. And we also have a penny option part to this. When you combine the two, this thing has lots of ways where I keep seeing millions potentially from it. The stock, it's the NFTs. NFTs could be $millions income for us in the next few years. It could be 5-figure income for those of us who have at least $1,000 in a deal. Correct me if I'm wrong, Robert, John, but with $1,000 in, if we can get anywhere close to what I just said a minute ago, $200,000 or more, that's going to lead to enough NFTs that we own to provide enough income for pilot. Everybody on this phone probably have a 5-figure income by the spring of the summer, at least. And it could be sooner. Now, that's just enough, Charles Bell. But trying to give y'all an overall intro, but get out of the way. Again, I've been knowing John Austin for a long time. He's a first-class guy. Robert's a first-class guy. They who know who Jesus is, they exemplify him. So with that, John, I should be getting out of the way, and you should just come as you wish.
Oh, thank you, Charles.
Yeah,
my daughter couldn't make it here today. She's on an airplane, so we'll forgive her for that. But
there you go.
Yeah, she would love to have been here. You know, we're stepping into kind of a new world here, folks. You know, Robert just sent me a message yesterday, and we're very, very close to the government trying to impose this digital currency on us. And this is not a deregulated currency. This is something that's going to regulate us. It's going to control us like nothing we've ever seen before. So let's talk just briefly about DeFi. What is DeFi? And it's a word you're going to come to hear a lot about. DeFi stands for deregulated finance. You know, the current banking system is considered centralized because you have one party making the decisions for everyone. In a deregulated finance situation, it's decentralized, which means regular people can act as their own bank, and they don't have to pay transaction fees to multiple different banks or gateways. You know, it doesn't take 3 to 7 days to settle. It's almost instantaneous. So deregulated finance is financial technology that the entire world is changing over to as we speak. So now, bringing this into NFTs. Right now, NFTs are the fastest growing area in technology in the world. This is where it's all happening, folks, and it's going to happen more and more as we saw
Hey,
things in the past, have things have grown, how the internet, started out dial-up. Robert can tell you about that. And now we're in broadband, and it just keeps getting better and bigger and faster. Uh, well, the same thing's going to happen with NFTs. Right now, it's basically a certificate of ownership, a digital certificate of ownership, and it could really be applied to anything, but it's going to expand into a whole plethora of things that are going to affect the world as we go forward. So we need to be looking at cryptocurrency. We need to be looking at NFTs, and we're bringing this all together under one roof at NFT Rewards. I mean, it's going to be absolutely phenomenal. We're talking a $11.3 billion market right now. It's going to be expanding. They're saying it'll be at 231 billion by 2030.
oh,
So we're right in the beginning of a huge wave. Now, if you could imagine going back about 14 years and buying $1,000 worth of Bitcoin at a nickel each. And I had that opportunity. I had a friend that said, John, you got to buy Bitcoin. You got to buy Bitcoin. He just pestered me and I didn't. Uh, I mean, it would have been a sacrifice, but I could have done it if I had realized where it was going. 2 years ago, I could have cashed out for $230 million.
wow.
Okay. So we're talking about some of the same kind of stuff here, folks. We're talking these shares, for example. Imagine uh, we're in a very similar situation as when Google bought YouTube. Okay. Why did Google want to buy YouTube? Because of the eyeballs that were coming in to watch videos every single day. There's a lot of money there. Advertising is big business, and if they can put ads in front of these people, um, and charge advertisers, or they're going to make a killing, and they are. Well, right now we have people that have money like Google. Okay, people that have billions and billions of dollars. They've spent billions of dollars building metaverses, but they can't attract the kind of people they're looking for. Primarily, they have 13-year-old kids that are coming in and playing video games. Well, that's not the demographic of people that's going to build a huge online shopping mall where people like us are going to come in and spend a lot of money on big ticket items. So that's what they're looking for. If we can get our group up to 200,000 people logging in every day by third quarter this year, we're expecting at least $375 per share, which would be 150 times increase. Like Charles said, $1,000 now could be $150,000 before Christmas this year. So I don't want to steal any more of Robert's thunder. Robert is the man of the hour. He's the man that put this all together. And let me tell you what, I am so excited to be here. And I just appreciate all the work and effort and this ingenious plan that he's put together to allow us to have the opportunity to make money and help other people make money. The beauty of this, folks, everybody who participates makes money. Everybody who participates makes money. What happens when you make money? You start talking about it, right? And it doesn't even have to be a lot of money. You tell somebody I'm making money, they're going to say, show me how. So the question is, how many times a day can you say, I'm making money? How many times a day can you say that? And you're going to have people asking you to show them what you're doing. This thing is going to mushroom like nothing you've ever seen. If we go back 10, 12 years, there was a company called Zeek Rewards. It had some problems, but it wasn't really the problems with the company. It was the fact that there was too much money on the table and somebody wanted that money and went after it. We've figured out how to solve that problem. I'm not going to go into it, but people were making so much money with that company that it literally sucked the oxygen out of all the other opportunities. You literally couldn't get on a soapbox high enough or yell loud enough to get people to join anything but NFT Rewards, because that's where everybody was going. I mean, Zeek Rewards. And that same thing is going to happen here. We're going to have a repeat in history. I believe we're going to see people just literally running to this company to get involved with what we're doing. So, Robert, it's all yours.
Hey, thanks, John. Hey, everybody. I want to thank you for allowing us to come on and talk to you tonight and everything. I was kind of I was listening to everybody, and I was listening to all the excitement there about what we have and what we're doing and stuff. And I realized that probably a lot of the people on here have no clue what an NFT is. They probably don't have a clue what a metaverse is. We're sitting here throwing these numbers at you on what you're going to be able to get per share, but we're not telling you how we're going to get there. We're not telling you why it's going to be worth that. And if I can, let me kind of lay the foundation here for you so it would make a little more sense to you and everything. And I was listening to what John said about we came up with this idea. Well, I was reminded of that story that said even a blind squirrel can find a nut. Well, folks, I think I found the nut. And what happened seriously was we didn't start out to do this. It started out with a guy that runs a huge hedge fund that I think he manages a couple $1 billion just down in South Florida, and we became pretty good friends. And as we're talking and doing this, he was wanting to do some things with NFTs and stuff. And I'll be very honest with you, I had no clue what an NFT was. And he put me in touch with this young kid, Charlie, that was going to explain it to me. And Charlie, very interesting young kid, at 20 years old, he'd sold off his digital advertising business to a company called Viking for like $13 million. So he did like every young kid. He went out there and bought a big condo and got a Range Rover and, was living life large. And so I'm talking to Charlie because now he's 21 years old. And he was actually, and you can Google this, he started a company called Meta Resorts, and kind of meaning the metaverse. And what he's doing is he is using NFTs to fund these development of resorts in the Bahamas and in the Virgin Islands. And what they do is they're using a metaverse and these NFTs and everything to display what it is they're building, and they're taking in deposits and getting this all lined up. And it's kind of a cool idea. I never thought you could do something like that. But I'm asking him about these NFTs, and everything he's telling me is just going right over my head, which is probably what we did to you tonight. So I asked him, I said, Charlie, I said, pretend I'm your grandfather because I'm probably older than him. Because he's 21 now at this point, and I'm 62. So I said, can you just slow it down for me a minute and tell me, how do I make money? And God bless him, he really tried. But he said something that really hit home. He said, if you are the creator of the NFT, there's a set of instructions, we call it a smart contract, that is laid on that is part of the blockchain. And if you don't know anything about a blockchain, think about it this way. These interlocking chains, if you break a chain, none of it works. So it all has to stay connected. So when you put this into the blockchain, other things attach to it digitally, and it has to stay the way it is. And this has really kind of been what a lot of companies, major Fortune 500 companies, have been looking how to do things where they can implement a blockchain type technology within their company. This is something that's evolving right now. It provides a lot of security and a lot of things that way. But when he told me that, I said, so Charlie, you're getting that 10%. How many times does it trade? He goes, well, it could trade several times a day. And I go, what do you mean? Who's actually doing this? Because, that's something you would ask, right? And he said, well, it's on a platform. There's several of them out there. There's one like OpenSea and stuff. And people bid on them. and they get them, and then they relist them, looking to see if they can make more money. And I was kind of reminded of the story where, people would do bartering, and they would get something for an amount, and they would try to trade it up and trade it up. And that was it was almost like a modern day bartering type deal, the way they did it. And I said, okay, well, that sounds great. But, are the people going to keep coming there? I mean, I need something that I can count on. I need something that's going to keep happening. What is going to keep pulling him there? And so, as they're explaining this to me and everything, I said, Charlie, how many NFTs do you have working for you on a daily basis? And here's where the light bulb kind of went off. He said, well, I've got over 10,000 NFTs working for me on a daily basis. I said, you too? And I said, so you're telling me that you probably make anywhere from $10,000 or $20,000 a day that's going to a wallet that you don't have to do anything with. It's just dropping in a wallet for you. And this was the honest truth, guys. The kid starts laughing, and he said, way more than that.
Oh my God.
Oh yeah. And I'm like, okay, I'm hooked. Talk to me a little bit more, Charlie. So as we started talking and he was discussing everything, I said, okay, well, I understand how that works, but what assurances do I have that there's going to be people coming back there? Because at this point in time, I didn't know that it was all young kids. I really didn't. And he said, well, there isn't none. There's just supporting the community and everything. And I'm more of a person that likes predictability. If I'm going to get involved in something, I want to know how it's going to work, and I want to have a good sense of feeling that it's going to continue to work. Or I really don't want. I'm more of a conservative type person. So he's telling me that these NFTs are used a lot in metaverses and everything else. Again, I have no idea what a metaverse is. And he says, we need to go see Tyler. Now, Charlie was in Fort Lauderdale. Tyler's in Pompano Beach. So we get on the phone. He introduced me to Tyler and everything. And I said, hey, you mind if I come over to you real quick? And like Charles had mentioned, I'm in Florida. I have a V35 Bonanza, and it's nothing for me to hop in it and go fly to Fort Lauderdale, fly over to Pompano. So anyway, I head over to Pompano, and I'm now sitting down with Charlie. Well, this day that I'm meeting with Charlie, which was a Saturday, it was actually his 23rd birthday. And I was really excited that he was taking the time to talk to me. He was going to be going out later that day on a boat he chartered for his birthday. And he was leaving on Monday for Dubai, because he mentioned to me that he had been contracted with him and his team. He has like 80 people on his team, but I think it was like 7 guys that he was taking with him to Dubai, because they had just gotten $100 million in funding.
My Lord.
Now I'm looking at this kid. He's very clean cut. In fact, Charles, you saw him on the video. Very clean cut kid.
Oh yeah.
And I'm looking around going, the kid's definitely into tennis shoes, because he had like a tennis shoe store. And it just wasn't adding up. I mean, I'm wanting to learn more about it. And so I'm sitting there talking to him. I'm going, well, what exactly can I use the NFTs for, other than trading and stuff like that? And he started explaining the metaverse. And right about that time, the light bulb goes off again. I'm thinking, okay, wait a minute. You're telling me that you're getting paid all this money to build what we would know as a B2B metaverse, meaning businesses are getting involved. And that makes perfect sense to me, because it's just like the beginning of the internet, where, if everybody remembers, you got that little disc at the store, and you put it in your computer and did it and gave your credit card. And pretty soon AOL says you have mail. And it was a dial-up service. And we all thought we're on the internet. And we actually were, but not like we know it today. And that was very primitive, but it kind of got everybody started. And I almost look at that almost like very primitive, because the way the metaverses would be right now. So as I'm talking to Charlie, and he's talking about all these businesses they want to bring in, I said, how many people around the world are logging into metaverses, and how many do you think they're out there? He said, well, it's probably several hundred. And he says, I don't know, but probably millions of people are logging in every day. So I pick up my phone, just like anybody else could, and I start Googling how many people log into a metaverse every month. And all of a sudden it spits out like 400 million people. And I said, what is the demographic of the people that would log into a metaverse? And that was the shocker, guys. It said, I think it was like over half are about 13 years old and younger. So I'm saying that to Tyler, and he said, yeah, that's probably about right. Remember, he's 23. And I said, so why would these kids be logging into a metaverse? And he said, well, because they're probably playing games and it's gaming. And I said, so it's like one big video game, right? He goes, yeah. And I said, so how would that attract a casino? How would that attract a house of worship? How would that attract a clothing store? How would that attract telemedicine? How would that attract timeshare, home builders? You see where I'm going with this, right? I'm saying these are the things that would be of interest to somebody in my age group, my demographic. How would any of that be attractive to them? And you know what? He was very honest. He says, well, I don't see that it would. And I'm going, so why are the people spending billions of dollars building these things out? That I couldn't understand. You know, do they just have more money than they know what to do with? You know, and what I realized was there was a lot of these young tech giants like Zuckerberg with Facebook that was doing this. And if y'all have been watching the news, you know, he spent 20 or 30 billion dollars of this money from Facebook, which, you know, it's not like he wrote a check. I mean, it's the thing's just so cash rich because what they've done in their stock offering that it was nothing for him to allocate that. But they also had to answer to shareholders, and they realized that it wasn't going where they wanted it to go. So if you noticed in the news, they started laying people off. And the main reason they did that was because they spent all this money, they've got this platform, but they don't know what to do with it to get the eyeballs. As smart as they are, they missed the punchline. You've got to have the eyeballs from this demographic. So I'm asking Tyler a little bit more on this. And I said, what kind of people are backing you? And he said, well, it's pretty much all people are in Dubai, very oil rich investors. And again, you've got people over there that just have more money than they know what to do with. And they think this is where the industry is going, everything else. I said, so if they can't make it profitable, what are they going to do? He says, well, I don't know. He says, I'm sure it'll eventually get there. I'm thinking, you know what? Necessity is the mother of invention. I mean, I think y'all probably heard that. And I'm looking at this from a logical standpoint, and I'm going, I think I know what we need to do. I know that rev share programs are really, really popular with people in our age demographic group because they can make some pretty good money pretty quickly. But there's a short side to it. They come up, they get excited, and then there's some kind of regulatory thing that happens, and then they start to fall apart. And some folks have made some money, and some folks haven't made the money. And then you're on to the next one. And I thought, you know, I don't really want to be involved in anything if it happens like that. I'd rather have something that continues. But how can you get away from the regulatory part? And here's the question I asked Tyler. I said, Tyler, what is governing the stuff in a metaverse? What laws do you have to go by? Who's writing the rules? Just talk to me. And he said, well, there really isn't any. And I go, well, there's got to be something. I mean, there's something you just can't do. Just like you can't scream fire in a movie theater and things like that. He goes, well, no. He said, but you've got to understand that the ones that are building up and doing stuff, they're in Dubai. That's very friendly. They're also very crypto friendly. He said the term is, where are they domiciled? I said, so I can't go online and gamble online, let's say with a casino here in the United States, unless I have a VPN to conceal where my location is, because it's not allowed here in the United States. He goes, exactly. And I go, and there's certain things with China that they can't go and do unless they have a VPN. He goes, exactly. I said, but in a metaverse, you mean I could log into a metaverse and all these things could be available to me, and I don't have to have the fear that it's going to go down, and I don't have to fear that it's going to be limited, because there could be all kinds of things in the metaverse, not just as one deal. And he goes, right. And I said, kind of like picking the fly shit out of the pepper, right, guys? I said, they can't separate it. And he goes, right. And I said, the technology doesn't exist to do that. I said, doesn't mean that it won't years down the road, but it doesn't right now. And I said, okay. I said, I think I got this now. I said, so if you've got a group of investors that have spent billions of dollars bringing up this metaverse, and they want to attract all these businesses that would give them billions of dollars in revenue. But what they're lacking is the eyeballs from the demographic that we represent, because there's nobody that is 30 and up that is really going out there, unless there's some kind of hardcore gamer, going, I got to get some VR goggles because I can't wait to get home because I'm going to go into my metaverse. Well, it's nothing you and I are going to do, right? But if we get into a program where we're doing auctioning and bidding on these NFTs, and there is a rev share component to it, and I'm inviting other people to do the same because they're looking for a way to make some extra money, pretty soon I've got a following of hundreds of thousands of people. And the way this would be structured is there's these bid packs that they earn off of. They're only for a 90-day period of time. There's things they've got to do. But here's why it has to be that way. The people that would purchase this need to make sure from outside analyticals of the number of visits to the site, number of people going there, how long do they stay on there, how frequently do they go back, what's the IP address going to it. When they have that data and they know what they've got, then the last thing they're looking at is, what is the revenue that that platform is developing? And we know, based on prior experience, that if you've got about 200,000 people and growing up, that this type of platform will generate $400 million gross, not net, gross per month. Because it's going digital, you're not all of a sudden having all these issues, having to have multiple banks and everything else. It allows that huge growth spurt like that. And the valuation on this, based on the guy that originally got me thinking about it, which was James Cartuchis, he said, on that, you're looking at 3 times annual. 3 times annual on that comes just a little bit shy of $15 billion. You take the 40 million shares that we have registered with the SEC, and you divide that into the 15 billion, and that's where you come up with the 375 that they've been talking about. I wanted to kind of pull that together so you know why we came up with that number. That has not taken into account the value of the eyeballs. That's just based on the revenue coming in. So it's not a hard stretch to realize that you could actually get that kind of money, because the eyeballs are a bonus for them, because that helps them recover and maintain their investment in the billions of dollars that they have spent to build up that metaverse. So that might start making a little sense there now. So as I'm looking at this, I'm going, oh my gosh, this thing could really be a monster. And so I said, you know what? I've got to do this for a variety of reasons. One, I've got to do the filing because I need no one to ever say that what we're doing is an unregistered security, meaning the bids. So by filing, I've solved that problem. Number two, I've created a financial incentive for a lot of people to get involved and do some great things right now, which is what we're talking about. And three, I've created an exit strategy that allows us to go into yet another environment, meaning a metaverse that protects your efforts in building this up. So what Charles has talked about was just kind of like the investment part of it. But just so you have to understand, there is going to be tens of thousands of people that won't own any shares. They'll be in here building this out because that's what they're used to. That's what they're doing. But because we're brand new and starting right now, they've recognized the opportunity for this. And so what I did to kind of make this fun, I had threw out there, I said, hey, I want to turn this airplane into an NFT. I've already bought another one. It's a Beechcraft Bonanza. And if anybody wants to look at it online, the end numbers are November 7856 Lima. You can put that right in Google and you can see a picture. It's a blue and white V-tail Bonanza. And I do, I keep it at my house. But I have gotten another plane and I take delivery of it around the first part of August. And I had said, you know what? I could sell this now for probably about $300,000. But I think if I give it away, as opposed to trying to sell it, I could create a lot of excitement to get this done, bring in some people that would want to tell a lot of people. And the fact of the images, as we turn over the keys and show this is what we've done in a very short amount of time, would make a believer out of a lot of people. And I feel that that will help propel us to getting our numbers that we need leading up to an acquisition this year. We absolutely want to get the acquisition done this year. And by doing that, that means the shares that you have, and I think a lot of people on this call have got some, whether they've got 250 in the game or 500 in the game, they're going to start realizing that, wait a minute, this is not just this is something really tangible. This is what we're doing. And so if you had $10,000 in it as opposed to $250, well, one, you now have something that's going to give you 6,000 shares, meaning that that can turn into somewhere around $2 million plus sometime this year. Now, I don't know anybody that could see that kind of excitement level, that kind of return, but you have to know how we get there. It can't just be pie in the sky. This is what's going to happen. That's why I wanted to take this time to explain it to you so that it made sense and you'd understand this has been well thought out and very logical in how we've arrived here. But, you know, it's not for everyone, but this is something that would be paying huge, huge returns for that reason. Could it be more than 375? Absolutely. But are we going to try to promise more? No. The truth be told, and I've mentioned this to Charles too, I said, look, I will own over 75% of it. I live very comfortably. I did this really to help out some friends and help some things get going, and it has kind of mushroomed into this situation right now. I don't care to keep doing this years down the road. When we exit out of the shares, I am exiting out too. This entity will continue to go, but people like John and Charles and a few others there, they'll be still working this because there is yet more money to be made. But I don't need that kind of money. So I can pretty much, should I say, run the tables and make sure that if we got in only $5 billion, I don't need to take that kind of money in for myself. I can make sure that everybody's getting at least 375. And I mentioned that to Charles. And I said, you understand, I want to make sure that when we're telling people this is how it can play out. James Cartuchis with Typhon Capital is going to manage the whole thing. What they've been doing, Charles and everybody, they've been sending me these spreadsheets, and it's been quite fun because we've had people sending in, let's say, 2750, but there might be 6 different people in there, and we're trying to separate it so we can get all these spreadsheets updated and everything correctly. And we have to do that. They've had like a leader of each group that is a PPM, which stands for Private Placement Memorandum. And we get them all the paperwork for that, and everybody's signing to it. We're doing this the correct way because it's all got to get turned in. We have to make sure that when we get audited and everything gets done, no different than what Elon Musk did with Twitter when he went and bought it. They had to look at it and validate everything. Now, he made this offer, and the reality was that he found a lot of these bots or fake accounts, and it really wasn't valued at that. So the reason program is designed the way it is that we have to have real people logging in at real places, real times, showing everything so that we can substantiate the eyeballs, not just the money, the eyeballs. Because we could show the money and they go, yeah, but it's a money game. No, we have to show the eyeballs. We have to show the activity. And doing that, if you got the revenue merged with that too, then you have a winner. And that's what we've done. I mean, in a very simple nutshell. And so they have done a phenomenal job. I think they're 130 or 140. I think you're getting up to in the commitments. We're going through it right now.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if you have half of it or getting close to it, but I know you're getting quite a bit there. And I know there's more people. There's a few of them that, and that's what I'm saying. We have to look at it. There's like one person I think was committing to 1,500, but the wire shows 5, but he might be getting it in from someone else. So we're just trying to get all that straightened out and get it figured out. So, but other than that, we're getting there. And this is an opportunity. There's a gentleman that I talked to last night, and the timing is fixing to be very tight for you because it's only going to be 300 people there. And this gentleman's out in California. I will tell you, back in 2012, I gave him some advice because I had been hired as a consultant that helped him make about $40 million. He ended up calling me back about 2 years later and told me that was probably the best advice I ever gave him. And you ever need anything, let me know. And so I reached out to him yesterday, telling him what we had going. He's actually trying to do an NFT project himself, but he doesn't think he's going to launch it until after the first year. He sent some stuff to me. I think they're animated. I've never seen that before. They're actually going to be like fighting it out in some kind of a digital ring. Sound kind of funny, but you never know, it might work. But anyway, when I was explaining all this, he said, what do you need? And I said, well, we have this airplane giveaway thing. And that kind of took him back for a moment. He goes, what do you mean? I said, you remember my plane that you saw back in 2012? He goes, yeah. I said, I'm giving it away. He says, you're giving it away? I said, oh yeah, well, we'll do better by giving away than selling it. So it's a long story, but we're going to do better by doing that. So he said, what do you need? I said, well, I think we're about 75 or 76 or 77 people, and we got to get up to 300. And he said, well, I can make phone calls, and I can probably over this weekend knock it out for you. I said, really? He goes, yeah. And so before I came on the call today, I was shooting over those teaser videos that we have, and that video we had with Tyler, and so he's all on. And another group over there in North Carolina, same situation. That was Tommy Dunn and Marty Munns and those guys up there. They were really big in that program that John had talked about. They're all geared up too. They're like ready to hit it. So y'all are kind of getting some competition right now. And if you're wanting to do anything more with Charles and everybody there, y'all probably need to have a conversation after we get off this call and discuss it with them, because that opportunity is fixing to close up. And as soon as it does, we're going to give that plane away. We're literally going to give that plane away. And if it's going to Sugar Land, Texas, which I know there's somebody in your group that is, he's probably got a lot of candles lit right now, and he is praying heavily. He's hoping that plane's coming out there. I'm going to be flying it out. We're going to take all the pictures. If someone else gets it and they're not a pilot, they're probably going to take it and list it with a broker to get it sold, because like I said, it's valued probably about 300,000, but let's just figure that they discount it to get it sold and you got the commissions paid. That's still probably about $250,000 that will get paid out to whoever is the person that owns it. So that's kind of a huge win-win-win. And so when you explain it, that's where they're at. And then the final thing is that those groups of people, every $10,000 is a PPM. And for every one of those, we're giving away 33 NFTs. These NFTs are images of this bonanza, kind of keeping of it. And it's some of them are cartoonish, some are like look like stained glass, some look like oil paintings. But the bottom line, they're going to be traded on the platform. And as more and more people come there, and we know the amount of bids that have to be out there, these things are going to be traded at a value that is probably going to net somebody anywhere from $1 or $2 per transaction. If those things happen 5 times a day, and you got 30 of them, or 33, should I say, you can do the math. This is going to turn out to be a few $1,000s, if not more, every month. And that continues. That doesn't go away when the shares are cashed out. If they're coded to you, they're yours. It's part of the smart contract. You can take that on other platforms if you want, but this is probably going to be the platform that's going to pay you the most. And if you have something like that, just look at it this way, guys. It's like income producing real estate, because after talking with Charlie and Tyler and everything else, I realized that's really all an NFT is. You don't have to make it any more complicated than that. If you have a piece of income producing real estate, you collect rent from it every month. In an NFT, you would collect rent from it several times a day. Whole better scenario. And I got to tell you, these kids that have come up with this is phenomenal. I mean, they've really come up with some really slick stuff, but we have the experience to know how to take their idea and maximize it. Because like I said, they couldn't figure out how to get our eyeballs there. That's how we are going to make our money. And, the rest will be history at that point. So, John, I'm going to turn it over to you, buddy. Hopefully I hadn't put everybody to sleep.
That was great, Robert.
Well,
That was great. That was a mind blower.
Recording.
Well, that's really just the way it happened. I mean, it's better just to tell people this is what happened. This is how we came about. I mean, it's like I said, sometimes a blind squirrel finds a nut. And I think I found a huge nut. So is anybody in the group have some questions we can answer for you? Because we threw a lot at you, but maybe we weren't clear on something. Maybe we didn't you didn't understand quite what we said. But
we just get back to Dave Johnson. He can let everybody raise some hands.
Well, I'm on my phone, so I can't see those hands. So you go for it. Let me know what you need.
I got it. So if you got a question, put your hand up. We'll answer. We'll call you in the order of your hands. And all right, Rita Fields, talk to me.
Good evening. I'm asking if it's going to be worth $345 in October, why wouldn't we hold on to it as the stock grows? Why are we selling it, at the first of the quarter?
That's a great question. And it's more like 375. And the reason this is being done is because the the value is right at that time when someone wants to acquire it and put it into a metaverse to attract the B2B businesses because of the eyeballs. If we put this in a metaverse without getting acquired, why do they need to buy us? And it's like that old saying, when mothers would talk to their daughters and they'd say, there's no reason to buy the cow if you get the milk for free. Well, if we are in that metaverse and they haven't bought us, why do they need to buy us? They need to buy us to get it in there. Does that make sense to you?
Okay, yeah, I think I get it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Sure.
Alrighty. All right, Crypto Care.
Yes. Good evening, everyone. My question is this one. So when you join up, you would go on daily to be part of the eyeballs that will be registering?
So here's the deal. In a penny auction platform, do you understand a penny auction by chance?
Not exactly, but go ahead.
Okay. So a penny auction, you might have seen these things on TV like Deal Dash and things like that. And it says, hey, I just won this iPad for $20 and I just got this bicycle for 10 and I just got, and they talked about these really cheap prices that you paid for that item. Well, what happens is in a penny auction, every time you bid, you basically spend $1 and it raises the item by a penny. So if it goes at $10, you actually took in $1,000 in bids that were bought. So that money is used to pay back to the people that are working this program as in the way of matrix dollars and the way of profit pool, meaning that they bought a bid package. And that bid package, let's just say, is 5,000 bids. Now, we actually give them a few extras and we give them some bonus bids, and I'll explain that in a minute. But they bought that. And so they're going to be required, because over a period of 90 days is the lifespan of that bid package. And so we need them to use those over that 90-day span and make sure they're bidding every day. The reason we need to bid every day is because we need to show they're logging into the site. Remember, we want to make sure from a outside analytical software showing it's happening. So they log in, they're doing their bids, and they're needing to get rid of the bids. And it's causing the price of that NFT to go up. And so we expect, based on the amount of NFTs to be offered out there and everything, kind of once it all starts leveling out, it's probably going to start averaging somewhere in the $20 to $30 range per NFT. So if it's doing that, that means the platform is taking anywhere from $2,000 to $3,000 in on that particular item. Now, here's where the platform makes money. Person goes, hey, I just won it. I'm going to relist it. The person that was the creator of the NFT gets their 10%. So they're excited, okay? And then it gets relisted. The platform gets 7% relisting fee. And then what's left over is the person that won it. They get that money deposited right in their wallet. Now, these wallets are something that they can actually go and move the money anywhere they want, put it to their bank account, you name it. So they're pretty happy because they're going, hey, I'm doing this. I'm earning, I'm doing that, but I'm also making anywhere from 1.25 to 1.5% per day on my bid package. How do we pay that out? Because it's a penny auction and we have these relisting fees. So as you start going, there's also a thing called breakage. If you don't do that day, if you get lax or whatever, you don't earn. It means you forfeited it for that day. If you go and all of a sudden you didn't use it everything up in the course of that time, well, you pay for those many bids, but they're gone because you didn't do it. So it incentivizes these folks to keep logging in and doing it. And they get excited because they're telling other people about it. So those people are doing the same thing. So we are creating this huge excitement level to get up to those numbers that we need so that the shares that you have bought will achieve the value that you want to have when they get cashed out. Does that help you?
Yes.
Okay.
All right.
All righty.
Someone else?
All righty. All right, Brother Tukes, talk to us.
See, John and I are having a competition to see who can stay up the longest.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me, Rob?
Yeah, go
How
ahead.
You doing? I'm just listening to you explain the process of the NFTs. First, let me ask you a question. What does the initials NFT stands for?
So it stands for non-fungible token. And I went and I read that and I went, well, I know as much now as I did before. It didn't tell me a thing. Maybe some young kid would understand it. But when I started looking at it like income producing digital real estate, I'm going, okay, it's unique, just like real estate. There's only one plot of land that's like that. If you have, 1922 State Street, there's only one of those, right? And there's only one of these NFTs. And if I'm renting that out to someone or whatever, I'm earning money off it, okay? Because I own it. And if it was a business piece of real estate, they're bringing in and making money, but they're still paying me rent to use it. Well, in a NFT world, it's pretty much the same thing. It's being utilized and everything else. But because I own it, I'm getting that money every time it trades. And so not just once a month, but I'm getting it multiple times a day. And whenever you can take something and earn off it multiple times a day, I think that's a great thing. And go ahead.
Is that the reason why you put the airplane up? Was that made into an NFT?
Yes, absolutely. And so that's why the people that are getting into this, that unique group of 300 people, you're going to get 33 NFTs. And guess what? You're going to be the first group to have NFTs on that platform that you would be listed as the creator that are not owned by the company. That means that you're getting revenue off of NFTs before anyone else does. And you can keep having them up there. They'll keep getting traded and everything else. Now, as the numbers keep growing, we have to put more NFTs out there because pretty soon think about this. If you got 200,000 people and let's say those people have got a average of $2,000 bid packages, which is what I'm using for the valuation. So they've got, 20 or 30 bids that they have to do a day. Well, it doesn't take a math science to figure out that if you have 200,000 times, say 20 or 30, that's a lot of bids that are being used in a given day. And you can work that number backwards and go, how many NFTs need to be out there? Because those bids have to be used. So if you had 2,000, 3,000 NFTs out there, and they're delivering 2 or 3 every 15 minutes because they last on a 15-minute cycle, guess what? The bids are going to get used. And there's another cool little feature in a penny auction, at least it is in ours. And that is that when it gets down to 30 seconds, if someone places a bid on it, it puts another 15 seconds on it. They go, oh, I got time to bid again. They do another bid. And it's down to 15 seconds. Okay, I'm going to win this one. Do it. Just put another 15 seconds on it. So it teases them. So it becomes a game, almost like at a where you see an auction, where you got the auction going, going for 375, 370. Oh, got it for 400, 400, 400, 425. You see what I'm saying? Like did like that. And so in that situation, you have that kind of effect happening. And so people be like trying, well, I'm going to win that one. I'm going to win that one. And pretty soon, whoever lasts the longest, they win it. And it ends. Well, guess what? Now they can take it and relist it. And they'll make the difference on it right there. So it's kind of a cool thing that's happening right there. But it's what it's doing. It's keeping the eyeballs on the platform. And it's creating the value for selling this off to a metaverse platform because somebody's logging in there. Guess what? Pretty soon, they're going to be in there and they're going to go, hey, I just saw that I could move over to this clothing area. And if I download this app, I can scan myself and I can actually see the clothes that I'm thinking about buying on me in this world. And do they look right? Do they fit right? Because the technology is there now that it can actually measure your body and it can deliver the clothes. And if anybody's ever heard books on demand where they print them like that, I think Amazon does that. They're moving to that right now with clothes. So clothes can be built or generated or whatever they do on demand, and they can start reducing their dependency on these large mega square foot warehouses. So it's just a factory. And so they're moving that direction. You know, technology is changing in such a way that they need this right now. But, you know, who would have ever thought?
Hey, listen, we have another.
I'm not quite finished yet, but
Hey, hold up.
Yeah,
Listen up. We're gonna have to finish. We got another 9:30 that's starting right now, and they're waiting for us to get that started. We're gonna answer questions and finish that after the 9:30 one. So we went from 8 to 9:30. We got one from 9:30 to 10:30. So I don't know who all.
I'll hold my questions.
I'm looking at a person right now that's trying to reach me 39 minutes ago. So I need to probably reach out to that person too.
Cool beans.
Thanks, Rob. Thank you very much.
So at 10:30 Eastern time, jump onto the help desk and we will answer questions. And those of you who are not in, want in, I'll be there all night getting you guys in and getting you guys set up. So the basic thing that you're going to need to do if you want to get into the stock side of it is that we're going to put you on a team. You let us know how much you want to put in from 250 to whatever. We give you a PPM number, give you the information on how to wire that in, because we don't do this with crypto. We do this. You go to your bank and you wire in the amount that you committed to. And we need that done in like 48 hours. So when you make the decision that you're going to go ahead and get some of the stock, I need you to be ready to have your money ready within 48 hours. We're going to give you the instructions on how to do that. And we'll answer all the other questions that we haven't got to now at 10:30. So again, we want to thank everybody for joining us on Side Hustle and Cash Flow. We got to go. So
thanks, guys.
We'll see you guys over. And again, all the links to this 9:30 one is go back to Cash Flow, Side Hustle and Cash Flow. Scroll up a little bit. You'll see that Brad, it'll say Bubba too. Well, mine said Bubba too, because that's what I call it. But you'll see Brad posted the link to this call that's going on, this other Zoom. It's on a whole different link. Go jump on that link. We'll see you there. And then we'll come back off of that one and go to the help desk link. All righty.
Okay.
God bless you,
everybody.
We'll
Thanks, John. Thanks, Robert.
I need to.
All righty now.
Hey, Jay.
Yes.
This is
Yes.
Kim from the West Coast.
Yes.
I want in, but
Okay.
I'm getting ready to go into a church service. I'm 3 hours behind you guys. So if you
We're
can put
gonna-
my
we're-
name
we're
on
gonna be
and I
up
can
late.
contact you in the morning.
Yes. Yes.
Because like
Yes,
I
you
said,
can
I'm
do
getting
that
ready to
also.
3 hours. I'm in California. So
Okay. So
and I'm
we're
here.
going to be on probably to 1 or 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning Eastern time. So
Eastern
go to
time,
the
which
help
would be-
desk.
Yeah, I'll be in here till about 11 our time. So that's going to be 11 till 1, about 2 o'clock you guys time. So I just don't want to miss out on.
I'll catch you in the morning. Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I'm in
yep,
Greg's.
call
I'm in Greg's downline. So
Okay, cool beans.
Kim,
Call
call you
me,
and just make
yeah.
sure I want in.
I
And
got
for
you.
everybody, and for
Okay.
everybody that's getting on the tax thing right now, I reposted it in the side hustle, so it's right at the
Bottom
beginning.
link.
Yeah.
All righty. So jump on that. You do not want to miss this one. This is hot. You've never heard of this. This is hot. So if we're going to make the kind of money we're talking about with this program, you need to hear this because you need to protect yourself. Do not sleep on this one. Come off of this, go to this next one, and we'll see you over there.
I need the link again. I don't see it in the chat. Please send
It's
it
not
again.
in. It's not in the chat. It's in the Side Hustle and Cash Flow Telegram group.
Got it.
Yep, side hustle. It's the very, very last link in the side hustle and or cash flow. Brad said he just posted it there. So get on that link, get on this call. You are going to be blessed. All righty, we'll see you there.
All righty.